Hello, welcome to Tuesday night stream. I missed last night, unfortunately, but I did get a lot of stuff done, and tonight we're going to continue here, day 371 of the Landtamer channel journey, and plowing through some multicast labs has been kind of the theme for today. So it's been a good day so far with the time I have had to study. So we're going to try to keep a little music going too, just to I'll play with that a little bit. Let me know if that's too loud or whatever. But yeah, so I haven't really had time to fill out the agenda because it's been pretty busy today. Of course, most days. But last night I had to work a little late, and then I was just tired. Like I had to prepare dinner, and then I don't know. I was still kind of recovering from going to a concert the night before and didn't sleep too well. So, but it turned out to be a productive day because Tony E, or Show IP Interface Brief, contacted me. We had a little jam session on multicast that went a good while. Like we talked for a while and shared some notes, and we walked through some scenarios together. We did it over Discord. We did a Discord like screen sharing session and voice chat. So it was just kind of a quickly planned thing, but it went really well. I mean, I was surprised actually at being able to explain some things, not as well as I would like to, but for the most part, I seem to have developed an understanding for the most part of how the trees work, both dense and sparse mode and auto RP. We even talked a little bit about multipathing, and a lot of this stuff has been fresh in my mind. Show, of course, is getting ready for his practical lab exam. I don't know if he's still planning on rescheduling, but it is, I think, now currently scheduled for next couple weeks. So anyway, wish him the best. Multicast and QoS seem to be more particularly difficult parts of the exam, right? The lab exam, that is. So I'm feeling good. I know I've been going slow, and I'm going to pull up the workbook now and just take a look at the topics because, I was hoping I started essentially over in maybe the second week in January, and I've covered this in about 2.5 weeks. So not as quickly as I want to go because I want to get to the end of this by February. End of February. So I wanted to go faster, but I have to say the fact that I've taken time in these initial parts to really try to understand multicast has been a benefit. In other words, sometimes you got to slow down to go fast. And that's what I've been doing. And now I'm starting to go through the labs at a quicker pace than I had anticipated. Hey, Casadix, how you doing, man? I got one of your URLs today here in the meat chunks, one that you shared in the Discord channel. Appreciate that as always. Always good to see others sharing links in case I missed one on Twitter or whatever the case may be. And hope you're having a good evening tonight in Brazil. But yeah, we had that great session, and then again, I did not really do any workbook study, but this morning after the workout, I did have some time, and I made some good progress and knocked out a couple of labs. Felt like I went through them pretty quickly, so I'm hoping to kind of continue that as we go forward. So what else to talk about? Not really much. Let's get into it. Right now I've got Azure booted up. Azure had a brief portal outage today, by the way, folks. With the work I do, I noticed something like that right away, pretty much. And yeah, it went out, but I think it was DNS. It was not that the service was actually down. It appears to me that, like, for example, when you log into Azure, it essentially redirects you to login.microsoftonline.com. And I think it uses like Anycast, or it uses like a global DNS. Network bro, what is up? Good to see you. Man, it's getting warmer here today, finally. It's cold this morning, but I am so ready for warmer. Bring me the hot days. I don't care. And I'm not just one of those persons that says it in the summer. Like, people complain about it being hot here in the summer. I'm like, I don't mind it because it doesn't get that cold here. But it's been cold the last few days here in Florida. But yeah, it's going well, man. Hope you're doing well. I see you've been putting up a video here and there. That's great, man. It's excellent. So yeah, multicast, and again, the way I sort of described my approach anyway, and we might see some of that tonight in this lab, but, you know, just in kind of talking it through with dense mode, you know, like how do you troubleshoot? Let's put it just the topic here, you know, troubleshooting multicast. And with dense mode, I tend to say start at, you basically go down the tree. You know, you traverse the tree. With dense, I generally start at the sender and work your way down. With sparse, start at receiver and work your way up. So that's overall generally how, you know, I tend to try to troubleshoot or analyze a problem, right? Or even if you're mapping out your topology, because oftentimes these I&E labs, I did one today, folks, that was ridiculous. In terms of just wrapping my head around, it was another tunnel within a tunnel within a tunnel. In fact, let me show you a packet capture I did early this morning. Let's modify it. This, of course, is out on the repo if you ever want to take a look. It's called PIM Auto RP Multiple Tunnels. All right, check out one of these packets right here. So look at this top one. We've got source destination. GRE, source destination, PIM, this is a PIM tunnel, encapsulation, IPv4 source and destination. I swear they had me doing and I even did it a little differently than what the workbook called for it to be done, but my goodness, was it complex. So the lab was set up R7 as your rendezvous point, set up router 2 as your mapping agent, and oh, by the way, these interfaces are not enabled for PIM. You can only enable PIM on the DMVPN interfaces, this one and this one. How do these talk to each other? So what I end up doing is, and I figured out the correct approach, not exactly the same implementation they recommend, but I did a new tunnel, a GRE tunnel, from router 2 this way, not this way. The tunnel source was tunnel 0. So it was a tunnel within a tunnel, and then the tunnel destination was this interface, and it worked. I got it to work. But that's the kind of result it produced, and for a while I was just spinning there like. But the point is that not only with troubleshooting, but even with your design phase, and mapping out your topology, which interfaces you're going to use. I'm really tempted to make my own lab, but I'll never forget something I read from Network Lessons, Rene Molinar in his course. He was like at the beginning talking about that, yes, you can make your own labs. You can look at Cisco documentation, make your own labs. You could save money doing that. But why would you when someone else has already built all these labs? I got the lesson. That's kind of the nerd in me, wanted to go beyond what I need to. And time is of the essence here, The longer I drag this thing out, the more I have to remember and keep remembering. Anyway, it was a good conversation with Swipe Interface Brief. We both, I think really enjoyed it and thought it was a beneficial time well spent. All right, so this lab, the first one we have, excuse me, is filtering auto RP messages. So I'm just gonna put up kind of a little, let's get into lab mode here, folks. Lab mode engaged. Engaging lab mode. Router 2 doesn't want to start. I'm not sure why. Am I clicking on it? Oh, this is actually a pretty good song here. I have to do this weird sort of thing with the Mac. That to work. All right, so yeah, what is up with router 2? Oh, it's got an error on it, doesn't it? That is odd. All right, let's just do this. We'll just sort of start over here. And we will do a stop and start. And while it's doing that, we'll sort of map out our lab here. All right, so we're going to use initial multicast. By the way, disclaimer, this is not my lab. This is from the INE workbook. It is linked down below. If you want to see the workbook, which I don't show on screen, if you want to see the workbook, you want to see the answer key, all the lesson, that basically goes with it, the verification, go out and grab that workbook. It is worth it. All right, now we're going to run, now that the VM is stopped, we're going to run our script. I have a little script here that will basically go and launch. I'm actually going to make this, no, it's fine. And this one is filtering auto RP messages. I read this earlier and I wasn't exactly sure. Sometimes they're just vague enough to confuse you sufficiently to where you're left like, huh? But we're going to enable PIM sparse mode. And between R6 and R10, R5 is RP, R6 is mapping agent. So we want it so that R6 is set up so that R10 cannot hear auto RP discovery messages. Okay. So basically I am the mapping agent, router 6. Let's pull up our apology again here. So again, another sort of weird, we got router 5 is the RP, router 6 is the mapping agent. But we don't want 10 to ever learn about R5. In other words, when we send out our discovery messages, we want to send them to everyone except router 10. Let me think about this now. use a configure router 6 so that R10 cannot hear AutoRP discovery messages. All right, so we have to think about how this process works, right? So the way the AutoRP works is you have two groups, 224.0.1.39 or 0.1.40. And these will need to flood via dense mode or dense mode. What we'll do up here is via the AutoRP listener command. So yeah, the 224.0.1.40 will essentially, that is where we flood the let me think about this a second. 224, that is where the RP announcements go. This is where discovery messages go. Where I'm getting stuck here is exactly what those discovery messages look like. So let's say you have a, okay, cool, the VM's coming back up. Okay, what I'm going to do in this lab, because I'm a little fuzzy exactly on the AutoRP process, is we're going to set up to where router 10 can hear them. And we're going to look at the packet flow, right? So what should happen is router 10, let's say he what just happened with this document? Like, what is it? Hello? Weird, you're supposed to be able to like quick click and zoom in and out. Anyway. Oh, hiccup there. So let's say enable IGMP interface. What's going to happen is router 10 is not going to know about the rendezvous point. He's going to send an IGMP join on PIM enabled interfaces, right? Router 8 will get it. He'll say, I've got a receiver here. He doesn't know yet either. So he's going to send on his, he's going to send a PIM join towards the rendezvous point. Yeah, that's still chicken and egg. All right, we're going to see. We're going to see exactly how this works. This exchange of messages. All right, let's do, yep, initial multicast, open. See if router 2 cooperates this time. Nope. Oh, I think I know why. I do know why. Maybe. Let's close the lab and let's drop to SSH in here and check the folders. It might be a permissions issue. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, I think I did a git pull here, and that's exactly what happened. Okay. I did not run this. So I did a git pull to update the repo, but I didn't push the repo into the E folder. That's this. That's the script right here. Oops. There we go. So now if we go back and refresh, yeah, okay, there it is. Okay, multicast, RP listener. That's a different topology. Yeah, let's just load this one. This one should work now. Yep, I didn't do my process in the correct order. No, something's wrong with the router itself, I think. Let's look. Router 10 either. That is weird. I've seen this happen before. Will it show me the error message? So the startup configs. All right, let's do this. Let's wipe. And let's wipe this one. Okay, that's what it was. Weird. Okay, so now let's console to all nodes. Oh yeah, this is a new IP. I have to allow it. Okay, so looking at our configuration, our basic configuration is going to be... Oh, we don't need this guy, actually. Mouse is being jumpy today. All right, so router 6. We're also going to need to configure router 5, router 4. Let's see, IP multicast routing, interface jet 0145, IP PIM sparse, interface jet 01146, IP PIM sparse, oh, it should say sparse mode, and then IP PIM auto RP listener. Hopefully make that a little easier to read. All right, and then let's go back to router 6, see if he's up yet. IP multicast routing, interface jet01146, IP PIM sparse mode, interface L0, IP PIM sparse mode. We want to use a loopback for the discovery messages. And then IP PIM auto RP listener, and we're going to say IP PIM send RP discovery. You probably just use a loopback 0, scope 10. Am I going to have to use scope? I'll bet that's what they're getting at. They don't want it to reach router 10. So that's probably, what would that scope be, by the way? That would be loopback. It'd be 1, 2, 3, 4. So we should limit it to like 3. Let's see if that's what they're after here. 4's done. 5. IP multicast routing. HTS 0, 1, 45. IPPIM sparse mode. HTS 0, 1, 58. IPPIM sparse mode. Now, who is the router 5 is the RP. Okay, so interface L0, IPPIM sparse mode, and we're going to do IPPIM RP send announce. Oh, send RP announce. Yeah, we're gonna say loopback 0. Scope 10. This scope doesn't really matter, I don't think. Because this is R5 just registering with R6. It only has to know, you know, where the mapping agent is. That's be able to reach the mapping agent. Okay, then we go to router 8. IP multicast routing, interface GS 0, 158, IPPIM sparse mode, and oh, I forgot, IPPIM auto RP listener. I don't think I put that up here. Should be here too. Yeah, I already got it there, that's fine. And then also GI 01 108, IPPIM sparse mode. And then finally router 10, interface GI 01 108, IPPIM sparse mode. And we're going to do I would like to capture as well. Let's capture on here because we want to see. We'll capture router 8's. Uh-oh. This file exists. I've gotten that a few times. It'll say like file exists. I think that's a make info. Try that again. Router 8. There we go. All right, we want to look for PIM messages here. That should just be a hello, I would think. Yep. All right. So let's now proceed to, everything should be set up. We won't see a, all right, let's do a legitimate one first. So let's say router 8. GI018 does an IP IGMP join message. I actually want to see the messages that come to router 6 and router 5. So let's check them out. Get that It's almost like it has to run it twice. Cannot be initiated because they ignore a broken pipe. Interesting. Not sure what that is. I just recently started seeing that. All right, we'll look at that in more detail in the documentation, but let's move right along here. So with this topology, let's just validate our topology interface Jazz 018 IPI GMP join group 239.111. And we could do a debug. You know, I don't do debugs enough. I'm trying to get a little caffeine and keep it going here, folks. Okay, so what I would expect is on the upstream router, a star comma G entry for 239.111. I don't see it. Are my interfaces not up? Oh, is that why that's why we're failing on our... There we go. No wonder. Dagnabbit. Okay. That one is up. Let's check router 4. Hello, that'll make a difference. Okay, now we got these graphs. Check DR generator. Okay, all right. Okay, so now okay, interesting. This is the part that I haven't really delved into enough. And that is a 240140. Okay, all right. Okay, so essentially when I am an auto RP listener, then I need to know like this is where I'm going to get the announcements from, or discovery messages. 150.1.6.6. All right, so let's look here now. Show IPM route. Show run interface Jazz 018. IPI GMP join group 239.111. Okay, let's check over here. Show IP PIM interface. This is probably convergence because I forget what this timer is. Query interval like 30 seconds. So let's say interface Jazz 018. Let's do a shut. Go shut. Now, generally, this does not have to be enabled on this interface if I'm doing an IGMP join. Maybe I do need it though. Yeah, see, I've always been a little unclear on that. Like, if it's a join, there's a star comma G. Okay, we know the RP already. But not because it was statically configured, but because of this, 224.0139. Yeah, it's these two groups. Oops. So these should basically be operating in dense mode. And I have star comma G's for both. So essentially any interface that is PIM enabled this is not, again, this will not be a, it's dense mode. So we're waiting on someone to send. So what will happen is router 6 is going to send out all its multicast interface and say, I am a source for 224.0.1.40. Yeah. That's what I should see here actually on router 4. And I do. Yeah. All right. That's the part I was getting confused. All right. So what happens is whoever is mapping server, say this is the mapper, floods what traffic does he flood? Of all the message types, what is it flooding? Let's check. I think it's a PIM RP discovery message. It's a special PIM message. Special message type. Yeah. That is truncating just where I don't need it. So this would be an IP source. Would be 150.1.6.6. What is it doing? And IP source. We need to prompt it to send another. I tell you what we do is we just shut it down. Shut down router 4's interface. Then we'll do a clear IPM route. Okay, and then let's bring it back up. Oh no. Interface has 0, 1, 146. And we're going to be patient and wait. What group did he want to graft? Graft is dense mode. Yeah, 2240140. Right. Here's another announcement from 146.6. Okay, this is PIM hello, but see, he knows who the auto RP is. Yeah, I'm not getting it. Probably gonna need to go back. Let me look back at the workbook here. This is a point where you realize, okay, I'm not fully understanding how this works, that you got to stop and figure it out, whatever it takes. I'm going to go back to this auto RP lab. That's not it. Multiple counted RPs. Yeah, I'm not too pleased with how the INE material for that. It's somewhat lacking, I think. All right, so I'm hopping over to networklessons.com real quick. Okay, yeah, what I want to see is this so 224.01.39. This is the RP announcements. But the other routers are going to ignore that. That's not how they learn their RP. A mapping agent is listening though. So router 5 is going to flood 224.01.39. Where was I at the screen just before this one? Here. Yeah, so he's going to flood 224.01.39 down all his interfaces. And R4 will not be a receiver. If we treat these messages just like any other multicast traffic, R5 is going to send down 224.01.39. So we should see traffic in our packet capture joins, I guess, saying I'm joining 224.01.39. And it should be coming from router 5. In this case, router 4. Yeah, here it is. Okay. All right, so it's just a regular join message. So this is a PIM join. And the group That's a prune, actually. Could have been during the convergence. Let me go back. Unfortunately, what I think we're gonna have to do is just reboot the lab. Let's do that. Gotta back it up a little bit. We're gonna wipe all nodes. And then we're gonna start router. Yeah, we want to capture this whole process. We got to see it on the wire. So let's go ahead and boot up router 4, 5, and 6, and 8, and 10. All right. So I think what happens is router 5 floods. Right, let me grab that. Come on. Okay. The RP floods joins to 2240140. The agent floods joins to 2240139. Oh, sorry, it's the other way around. Yeah, this is 39. What I don't get is the logic of how this flooding lets R8 know who the rendezvous point is. That's what I want to see. So we're going to do IP multicast routing, jazz 0145, IP PIM SPARSE, which jazz 146, IP PIM SPARSE mode, IP PIM auto RP listener, interface jazz 0145, IP PIM sparse mode, base jazz 58. Interface loopback 0. IP PIM auto RP listener. Before we turn on the send messages, that's what we want to check here. IP PIM sparse mode, PIM auto RP listener, IP PIM or IP multicast routing, jazz 01108, IP PIM sparse mode, Yeah, we got no tunnels right now. IP multicast routing. Base loopback 0, IP PIM sparse mode, interface GI 0, 1, 146. PIM auto RP listener. Okay, so now is when we want to set up our capture. And we want to see what's coming between router 5 and router 6. Oh, come on, don't do this to me. Let me close all the little spammy windows here. I call them spammy windows. They spawn a bunch of little... Okay, let's try it again. Wonder if I'm almost entering this like too fast. Yeah, maybe that's what it is. Okay, so we're monitoring router 6. And we also want to monitor router 5. I'm going to wait a second this time after the prompt. That was the problem earlier. I was entering it too quickly. Get our spammy windows out of the way. Okay, so let's turn these on and let's see exactly what happens. So first we'll turn on the... Yeah, there's no tunnels. No tunnels happening. Nothing. We got nothing. IP PIM RP or send RP announce L0 scope 10. All right, now what do we see? So we got some joins. That's what I expect. Just some standard. Two 2240139. We got a prune. Why do we have prunes? Oh, there's no one listening yet. That's why. Okay. We have no receivers for that yet. So I guess these will all be prunes. Okay. All right. Makes sense. Now, when we turn on the mapping agent, we should get joins. IP PIM send RP discovery. L0 scope 10 for right now. Okay, now this is router 6. Oh, he's saying I pruned it. Excuse me, I need that back. I am 2240139. All right, makes sense. So now if I look at the routers, on this I should have... So he is a sender and he is a receiver. So we should have here on router 4, we should have a star comma G for 2240139, which is router 5. And we should have an oil of GI0146. Show IP mroute 2240. Booyah, we do. Perfect. And it is dense mode connected. Okay, that's why we got the graft and the graft axe. Okay, good. Now, I'm assuming what that means then is that router 5 or 6 now knows who the RP is. Yeah. All right, so I guess what he's going to do, he's going to turn around and announce he's going to become a sender. And he's going to flood dense mode 224.0140, and every router should be a receiver of that. So they all should be joined. So there should be S comma G's all the way down the tree. Let's see if that is the case. I think we saw that earlier. Let's look at router 5. En route, or router 4 actually. 224.0140. There we go. S comma G. Show IP en route. Oh, what just happened? Why does router 5 not know about anything? That is totally confusing me right now. What is that command I'm looking for here? The command that shows me that multicast routing is running. Well, that's what I wanted to check, site of origin. There's a command that I can check. I'm looking for the command, not show run. But there's a command that tells me if multicast routing is running or not, if it's enabled or not. Appreciate the shout out though. Tony used it last night. It'll also show you if you're running, for example, multipath. Oh, does it just show IP multicast? There it is. It's disabled. Okay, you're right. IP multicast routing. However, here's the thing though. So here's the thing. He's announced himself as a sender. We know that because if we look, for example, here, I guess that still works without multicast running. I don't know how. Let's check up the line, make sure. Show IP multicast. That's the command I need to remember. Okay, it's enabled here. I appreciate the help though, folks. Don't get me wrong. It was just like confusing me there for a minute. Oh, IP multicast routing. IP PIM auto RP listener. Okay, so now on router 5, I should see show IP en route. We have S comma G, LT. Yes. And I'm forwarding it. It's incoming on this interface, and I'm forwarding it out this interface. So we should see it here. Show IP en route. Boom. Okay, 151.66. That's right. So we have the S comma G. So here's my question. How is router 6 communicating the RP? Obviously, we have a shortest path tree to router 6. But when I go to send a register message, how does it know who to send the register message to? So let's look at these. We haven't done that yet, so we can see that exchange here in a second, but see, I think there is a special PIM message type, and I'm gonna have to wrap this up in a minute, folks. This old man has to get to bed soon because he gets up early. But we're gonna solve this little riddle here. PIM. Oh, I don't want to look at written exam practice. This would be discovery. Register. Okay. PIM message types. You have register, candidate RP advertisements. These are all the PIM message types. So let's kick it into gear here. Maybe this information is not communicated until the point at which we have a listener or receiver. Let's find out. Let's go down here to router 10. Jazz 0, 1, 108. No, interface Jazz 0, 1, 8. All right, we've got our router 5 packet capture running. We do, okay. All right, see what happens. Well, this is assuming that everything is right and it actually works, which it may not. Show IP PIM tunnel. Okay, we've got our tunnel. So you should have a star comma G all the way up to router 5. Well, no, we don't. So let's check our router 10 configuration, IP multicast routing, IP PIM auto RP listener, show IP PIM interface. We have a neighbor, 108.10. Okay, it's good. Okay, we have this PLTX. What does that mean? Proxy join timer running. Okay. Prune. That's okay. Okay, we know about him. We know about him. So how's the information communicated? Show IPM route. Yeah, something's not right because... Oh, Just Prince, thank you for that raid. Appreciate it, my man. Hope you had a good stream tonight. Everyone, check out Just Prince. Actually, as a matter of fact, he's on the agenda tonight. New streamer. This is his... give him a follow. On Twitch. He's getting started out. Well, he's been streaming for a minute. And he's doing, I know, a lot of CCNP switching labs. So always good to find a fellow streamer. We've been communicating today once I found out about him on Instagram. It's funny. I've had people tell me they didn't know about my channel until they saw a post on Instagram. Go figure. So, hey, Just Prince. Good to see you, man. Good to chat live. Doing well. I'm in a little bit of a not completely stuck. We're learning some multicast, auto RP, and exactly how those mechanics work. I thought I had it down and learned pretty quickly. That's what the stream helps. Because if you don't know it and you can't explain it, psh, the chat doesn't have to tell you. You'll figure it out. Multicast is my weakness right now. Yeah, I had a chat session yesterday with another viewer and also a content creator, YouTuber, streamer. I didn't mention him, by the way, Just Friends, but he's not streaming on Twitch, but he streams on YouTube. He's getting ready to take his lab in a couple weeks. CCIE lab exam, routing, switching. But check him out at on youtube.com. I'm not sure exactly if he's got a custom URL right now, but he's Twitter at show IP interface brief. Check him out there, and you can get a link to his channel. He has done a lot of streaming too. Stick Alien. I'm actually surprised people find technical guys through Instagram. I am too. But I've connected with a number of people on Instagram, and it doesn't have the same kind of like following as Twitter, but probably half. But it's amazing that usually people sharing content on Twitter that are technical people are doing content creation. They're not just tweeting. They're actually making videos or, streaming or whatever. That is awesome. Yeah, that's a really good name. What if he becomes an ASA? That name wouldn't work. That's right. You have to show IP addresses or whatever. But yeah, we're just getting through this. Okay, we got some join rooms here. And everything actually should now be running. Show IP PIM RP mapping. Yeah, show IP PIM tunnel. That's good. We should have router 4 the same. Show IP PIM RP mapping. Okay, cool. Info source. Notice this. And I still don't know how he's getting that. That's the part. Have you taken any boot camps for CCIE yet? I have not. Show IP interface brief has, and several others in our Discord. We actually have a Discord channel for it, and once in a while when people are about to go, they'll post in there. But I will probably, it may depend on my first attempt, which I hope to do by the end of this year. And, oh, cool, man. Yeah. So it may depend on how that goes. If I just like lab really hard and go through the workbooks and I go take my exam and I just drown, then I'll probably go do a boot camp. It'll probably be Narvik. That's what I'm thinking about anyway. Okay, this all looks good here. I saw a little bit of Espanol, your YouTube video. Hey, Network Pistolero. Good to see you. Yes, no, I'm not Hispanic. But I've been speaking Spanish for 20 some odd years. And I've been married before, but my wife now, she is from Honduras. And she speaks English, but you know, we still, that's kind of how we met, through people, you know, we know. And actually a coach of mine I had here, Olympian from Honduras, originally. Yeah, Network Pistolero. Where are you from, Pistolero? I'm not surprised that none of you network guys work on Linux. That is not true, Stick Alien. I actually work on Linux as part of my day job, and I use some of it here. As a matter of fact, if you would have seen earlier, a bash script that... oh, do you mean IOL? Is that what you mean? Or do you mean just Linux in general? Because yeah, like earlier, I just ran a bash script to launch my virtual machine in Azure. That is a Linux virtual machine. In fact, these labs are running on a Linux box in Azure. I love Linux, man. I'm such a Linux, and yeah, notice that. Just friends, I use iOS-V. So we've got a PIM tunnel here, in cap, decap. We're good here. We look on router 8. We've got our PIM tunnel. It's just router 10. We have a PIM tunnel. Why do I not have star comma G's here though? I mean, Mac OS is basically Linux, but yeah, that's the reason I use Mac OS. Oh, Pistolero from LA, Los Angeles. Nice. Yes, DK, I actually worked for a while. I did like forensics work when I was a consultant. I did it on occasion. I did the occasional forensics project. And I found out then that, you know, you really need to know Linux to do forensics of any kind. And so one day I took my Windows PC at work, my Windows laptop, and I just formatted it and loaded it with Ubuntu, and later I switched to Fedora. And I loaded VirtualBox to run any Windows app I needed. And I just went hardcore, man. Linux it was hard in the beginning. But I got to really love Linux. Like I used to listen to a ton of Linux podcasts and stuff. And then I noticed that like a lot of high-end network engineers were using Macs. You'd go to a Cisco event and like everybody's running a Mac PC, and when I found out that Mac that is basically running essentially BSD underneath, I was like, oh heck yeah, I can have a computer that's stable and that just works and lasts a long time. I don't want to get into the whole, you know, I am a bit of a Apple fanboy, but yeah, and I can have my cake and eat it too. I can run, you know, BSD underneath. Nowadays, though, Windows 10, I tell you, my work laptop runs Windows 10, and I run a lot of my day-to-day work out of Windows subsystem for Linux. So I'm running like my Windows box, and I'm using Bash like a good part of the day. Just prints running EvenG is good. There are a couple bugs that's completely doable, especially for switching. That's cool. Yeah, that's what I've heard, that a lot of people use Eve with IOL. So we've got our, we should have a star comma G here. That's what I don't understand. Okay, I don't even have it here. Show IP PIM interface. Oh, I'm using the wrong interface, that's why. Durr. That's the problem. I'm not going crazy, but yeah, I am kind of going crazy. I need to put this on interface GI01108. IP PIM sparse mode. IP PIM, IP IGMP join group 239.1.1.1. Okay. So the thing is that even before we had a receiver, we have tunnel interfaces everywhere. And my question still is, how did router 5 or router 6, how did it communicate who the RP is for those groups to the other routers? All right, let's see if this revealed, because 224, 0139, and 40 are kind of special groups, right? So let's do it with just a standard multicast group address. Try PM route. Now we got our star comma G. We should have it on router 8. And we have a star comma G, and we should have router 5. Star comma G. We should not have it on router 4. Awesome. So now let me send some traffic. Let's send it from router 4. And I want to see, how does everyone learn who the rendezvous point is? There's our register. This is coming from router 6, going to the rendezvous point. Okay, so that's good. It looks like the traffic two three nine one one one. Let's look at all the traffic. Actually, let's look at ICMP. Well, that's cool. The ICMP filter will actually show the register messages. Let's do that here. Yeah, I'm still unclear on how that's happening. Like if I look at a tunnel interface right now, or the mapping. How did it get this information? That's what I don't know. Hey, thank you, Just Prince. Yeah, I have to get up like at 4:30 in the morning, so I'm about to sign off too. In fact, that's a good time for me to stop. Thanks for stopping in, man. Hope you had a great stream. And again, it was great to meet you electronically today. And everyone else, thanks so much for hanging out in the chat. Really appreciate it. We're going to wrap it up again here. I stream usually Monday through Thursday nights, 7 p.m. Eastern. And it varies on the weekends, but I'll usually post a schedule in the Discord channel. You can meet up with some other students and streamers, content creators in our Discord channel. You can also follow me on Instagram, YouTube, where I upload these sessions, and on Instagram. And thanks so much for stopping by, sending good bits out to everybody out there, also labbing, studying, whatever you're doing, working. And we shall see you back here tomorrow night here in the Land Tamer stream. Have a good night.